My name is Anna, and I'm 27 years old. I've spent nearly my entire working life at the family company in Chicago, a business that my father built from the ground up. It's a company worth $200 million, a testament to his relentless work and vision. Growing up, I watched my father dedicate countless hours to the business, working late into the night and making sacrifices to ensure its success. He wasn't just a businessman. He was a pioneer who believed in the value of hard work and dedication. My parents always encouraged me to follow my own path. Despite their support for my independence, I felt a deep connection to the company. I wanted to be part of something that represented my father's dreams and efforts. So, after college, I chose to stay and contribute to the business rather than seek a career elsewhere. I was lucky to have Sam, a seasoned employee, as my mentor. Sam, who was likely in his mid-40s, had a wealth of experience and a patient demeanor that made him an ideal guide. He helped me understand the inner workings of the company, teaching me everything from the basics to the more complex aspects of running a $200 million enterprise. His mentorship was crucial in my development, and I took pride in learning every detail about the business. My older brother Jake, 29, had a different vision. He pursued a college education in management and always saw himself as the future president of the company. Jake's approach was less about dedication and more about entitlement. He viewed the company as his ticket to a life of luxury. His lifestyle reflected this attitude, expensive tastes, and a love for the high life. Jake married Lisa, a woman in her late 20s who shared his appreciation for opulence. Their home was a showcase of their wealth, and they were often seen at high-profile events, embodying the image of future success they aspired to. Our father's sudden passing was a shock to everyone. It was especially hard for me, as I had to cope with both the loss of my father and the responsibility of taking over the company. When the day of the will reading arrived, Jake and Lisa were away on vacation, enjoying their luxurious lifestyle while we dealt with the aftermath of our father's death. They returned just in time for the reading of the will. The atmosphere in the room was thick with anticipation. We gathered in the conference room, and Mr. Stevens, the family lawyer, prepared to read the will. Jake and Lisa arrived with an air of casual superiority, seemingly expecting the will to confirm Jake's ascension as the new president. Mr. Stevens began reading the will, and my heart pounded as I awaited the outcome. As per the wishes of John Thompson, Mr. Stevens announced, the company, including all its assets, valued at $200 million, will be inherited by Anna Thompson. The room fell silent. Jake's face went pale, and Lisa's eyes widened in disbelief. The reality of the situation hit hard, and the room seemed to hold its breath as Jake and Lisa absorbed the news. "This can't be right," Jake finally said, his voice shaky. "I'm supposed to be the president. I've been preparing for this my entire life." Mr. Stevens remained calm. "The will is legally binding, Mr. Thompson. Your father's wishes were clear." Jake's disbelief turned into anger. My father must have been mistaken. How could he leave everything to Anna? She's never been involved in the high-level decisions. Lisa, standing by Jake's side, added angrily, "Anna? She's just a low-level employee compared to Jake. This isn't fair." The employees, including Sam, who had been quietly observing, exchanged knowing glances. They had seen my dedication and hard work over the years. Sam stepped forward to support me. "Anna has been here every day, learning and working alongside us. She's shown genuine commitment to the company. This decision reflects her true contributions and potential." Jake's anger flared. "This is ridiculous. I should be the one leading this company. It's my birthright." Lisa, clearly upset, added, "We should contest this will. This isn't right, and we won't accept it." Despite their protests, the will was clear. My father's decision was made, and it was now up to me to step into the role of president. The weight of this responsibility was heavy, but I was determined to honor my father's legacy and prove myself worthy of the trust he had placed in me. In the days that followed, I prepared to take on my new role while grappling with the emotional impact of losing my father. I had no idea that this was only the beginning of a challenging journey. The events that were about to unfold would reveal the true nature of those around me and test my resolve in ways I had never imagined. The days following the reading of the will were a whirlwind. Jake and Lisa's protests did little to change the situation. Despite their anger and disbelief, the will was legally binding, and I was officially named the president of the company. Jake, now ousted from his position, had to come to terms with the new reality. He and Lisa were forced to sell their mansion, a symbol of their extravagant lifestyle, to manage their finances. Watching Jake and Lisa's struggle was surreal. They had lived in such luxury, and now they were facing the harsh realities of their choices. Jake's arrogance had always shielded him from the real world, and Lisa's dependence on their high status left them both unprepared for the sudden shift. With no real skills or experience outside of their former life, Jake took a part-time job at a convenience store, while Lisa found work as a cashier at a supermarket. It was a stark contrast to their previous life, and their pride made the transition even harder. As for me, I was determined to prove myself. The transition wasn't easy, but I knew it was essential to keep the company on track. With Sam's guidance, I began to familiarize myself with the intricate details of running a $200 million enterprise. Sam continued to be an invaluable mentor, helping me navigate the complexities of the business and the challenges that came with my new role. The company, despite its success, was not without its issues. There were long-standing problems and areas for improvement that needed immediate attention. I spent countless hours reviewing financial reports, meeting with department heads, and making decisions that would impact the future of the business. The weight of responsibility was heavy, but I was committed to honoring my father's legacy. One of the first things I did was address the concerns of the employees. They had been with the company through thick and thin, and their support was crucial. I called a meeting to reassure them of my commitment to the company and to listen to their feedback. "Thank you all for coming," I began, trying to keep my voice steady. "I know the past few weeks have been difficult, and I want you to know that I'm here to support the company and all of you. My father's vision was for this company to thrive, and I intend to see that vision fulfilled." The employees seemed receptive, and Sam gave me a reassuring nod. Their support was something I valued deeply, and I made it a point to foster a positive working environment. I wanted to create a culture where hard work and dedication were recognized and rewarded. Despite my efforts, Jake and Lisa's presence lingered in my mind. Their situation was a stark reminder of the consequences of entitlement and arrogance. I had always believed in earning one's place through hard work and respect for others, and the contrast between my approach and Jake's became even more apparent. Jake had always felt that the company was his by right, while I had worked tirelessly to understand and contribute to its success. One day, as I was going through some old documents, I found a letter from my father. It was a note of encouragement and advice, written shortly before his passing. In it, he spoke about the values he hoped I would carry forward: integrity, dedication, and respect. Reading his words gave me strength and reminded me of the responsibility I had inherited. The letter ended with a simple message: "Anna, remember that true leadership comes from within. It's not about what you're given, but what you choose to do with it. Lead with your heart and honor the legacy we've built together." I kept the letter in a frame on my desk as a daily reminder of my father's words. Each decision I made, each challenge I faced, was guided by his advice. I wanted to lead in a way that would make him proud and uphold the values he had instilled in me. As time went on, the company began to show signs of recovery and growth. The efforts I had put in started to pay off, and the unity among the employees strengthened. The transition was far from easy, but with perseverance and a focus on genuine effort, I was beginning to see the fruits of my labor. However, the shadow of Jake and Lisa's downfall remained. I knew that their story was a cautionary tale of what happens when entitlement outweighs hard work. It was a stark reminder of the importance of humility and respect, values that I had embraced wholeheartedly. The journey had just begun, and there were many challenges ahead. I was determined to face them head-on, guided by my father's legacy and the support of those who truly believed in the company's future. Little did I know, the path ahead would test me in ways I couldn't yet imagine, revealing the true character of everyone involved and shaping the future of the company in ways I could only hope for. Months passed, and life at the company began to settle into a new rhythm. We were making progress, and I felt more confident in my role. The company was regaining its footing, and our efforts were starting to show. But in the midst of our successes, Jake and Lisa's struggle was a constant reminder of how their sense of entitlement had led to their downfall. I still heard occasional snippets about Jake's situation through mutual acquaintances. The news was often grim. Jake's job at the convenience store was menial compared to the high status he once enjoyed. Lisa, too, faced challenges working as a cashier, a role far removed from the luxurious lifestyle she had been accustomed to. Their pride made it difficult for them to openly discuss their difficulties, but it was evident that their lives had been turned upside down. One afternoon, I received a call from Sam. "Anna, I think you should come by the office early tomorrow. We need to discuss some issues that have come up." The tone of his voice was serious, and I could tell it was something important. I agreed to meet him, and the next morning, I arrived at the office early. Sam was already there, waiting in his office. "Good morning, Anna," Sam said, motioning for me to sit down. "We've been having some issues with one of our major clients. They're considering pulling their account due to some unresolved problems." I listened intently as Sam outlined the situation. The client's dissatisfaction was largely due to some lapses in our service, which had happened before I took over. It was a critical account, and losing it would be a significant blow to the company. "We need to act quickly," Sam continued. "I've already scheduled a meeting with the client, but we need to come up with a plan to address their concerns and convince them to stay." I spent the rest of the day working on a strategy to save the account. It was a challenge, but I was determined to resolve the issue. By the end of the day, we had a comprehensive plan in place, and I felt confident about the upcoming meeting. The meeting with the client went well. I presented our plan and assured them that we were taking immediate action to address their concerns. After a tense discussion, they agreed to give us another chance. It was a relief and a testament to the hard work of everyone involved. As the days went by, the company continued to improve. We were regaining lost ground and building a stronger foundation for the future. But despite the progress, Jake and Lisa's situation weighed heavily on my mind. Their story was a painful reminder of the consequences of entitlement and arrogance. One evening, I received an unexpected visitor at the office. Jake, looking weary and disheveled, stood at the door. I was taken aback. "Anna," he said, his voice tinged with frustration and desperation. "Can we talk?" I nodded and invited him in. We sat in my office, and he began to speak, his tone a mix of bitterness and resignation. "I didn't think it would be this hard," Jake admitted. "Lisa and I thought we could get by on our past status, but we were wrong. It's been a tough road, and I'm struggling to find a way back." I listened, trying to understand his perspective. "Jake, you've always believed that the company was your right. But it wasn't just about the position. It was about the work and respect that come with it. Entitlement doesn't lead to success. Hard work and humility do." Jake's face showed a flicker of realization, but he didn't respond immediately. "I know you're right," he finally said. "I guess I didn't fully appreciate that until now. I've been trying to make sense of it all." We talked for a while longer. It was a difficult conversation, but it was clear that Jake was beginning to understand the importance of the values I had embraced. His journey was far from over, but perhaps there was a chance for him to rebuild, not just his life, but his understanding of what true success meant. As Jake left the office, I felt a mixture of emotions. It was hard to see him in such a state, but it was also a reminder of the importance of the path I had chosen. The contrast between our journeys was stark. While I worked hard to restore and build the company, Jake faced the harsh reality of his choices. The lessons from these experiences were becoming increasingly clear. True leadership and success come from genuine effort and respect for others, not from entitlement or a sense of inherited privilege. It was a painful but necessary lesson, and it was shaping both our lives in ways we hadn't anticipated. Little did I know, the challenges ahead would test these lessons even further, revealing more about our characters and the true nature of success. The months that followed Jake's visit were transformative for both him and me. While I continued to focus on strengthening the company, Jake and Lisa were slowly adjusting to their new reality. Their struggle was evident, but so was Jake's effort to learn from his past mistakes. One day, I received a call from Sam, who sounded unusually excited. "Anna, I think you should come to the office. There's something you need to see." When I arrived, Sam was waiting with a wide grin. "Look at this," he said, handing me a document. It was an article from a major business magazine featuring our company. The headline read, "Chicago's Resilient Business: How Dedication and Leadership Made a Difference." The article praised the company's turnaround under my leadership and highlighted the improvements we had made. It was a moment of pride and validation for all the hard work we had put in. As I read the article, I couldn't help but reflect on how far we had come. The company, now valued at $200 million, was thriving and gaining recognition. The sense of accomplishment was immense, but it was also a reminder of the values that had guided us through tough times: humility, hard work, and respect. A few days later, I received a letter from Jake. In it, he expressed his regret for his past behavior and acknowledged the lessons he had learned. He wrote about his ongoing efforts to rebuild his life and find a new sense of purpose. "I've come to understand that success isn't just about a title or wealth," he wrote. "It's about the work you put in and the respect you earn along the way. I'm learning that now, and I wanted to thank you for showing me that." The letter was heartfelt, and it was clear that Jake was making an effort to change his perspective. It wasn't an easy road for him, but the acknowledgement of his mistakes and his willingness to learn were significant steps in the right direction. Life at the company continued to be fulfilling. With the support of Sam and the rest of the team, we had created a strong, cohesive environment where everyone felt valued. The challenges we faced had only strengthened our resolve and deepened our commitment to the values we believed in. Jake and Lisa's story was a poignant reminder of how entitlement and arrogance could lead to hardship, while genuine effort and humility paved the way to true success. Our paths had diverged significantly, but the lessons learned were invaluable. As I looked out from my office window, reflecting on the journey we had been through, I felt a deep sense of satisfaction. The company was thriving, my efforts had paid off, and the values of hard work and respect had guided us to success. Jake's journey was still unfolding, and while he faced his own challenges, it was clear that he was on a path of growth. Our stories were intertwined by the lessons we had learned and the contrasts that had shaped our lives. In the end, the true measure of success was not in the inheritance or the titles we held, but in the character we built and the impact we made. The story of our family and the company was a testament to the power of hard work, humility, and genuine leadership.